Aquacore Town and Clemont City will not be here. I'm sorry, everyone. Greetings trainers, KuroBlitz here and welcome to another video. Today I'm here to talk about the infamous final series of the Kalos saga, the Pokémon XY&Z series. For those who don't know, Pokémon XY&Z was the final stretch of the Kalos saga with 47 episodes. They had to finish their ending even if rushed because of the release of Pokémon Sun and Moon for the 20th anniversary of the franchise. However, just because they had only one more year instead of 1.5 or 2, it doesn't mean that the episodes could not be properly structured. Therefore, I'm here to rewrite the final season of the Kalos saga. That's right folks, I'm here to rewrite Pokémon XY&Z. So, without further ado, let's get started. So, I'm going to start the rewriting of XY&Z by dividing the season in 4 segments of 12 episodes each, with the final episode being the extra one of episode 48, which will be a dual special with the Alexian Sycamore and also with the Silent Return in the end of XY&Z. But before talking about the end, let's talk about the beginning of this amazing season of Pokémon, or what it should have been an amazing season if not rushed or unstructured, and not to specify the inconsistency of the narrative. XY&Z was trying to be something that Pokémon sadly isn't, a shonen. However, that doesn't mean that the elements could not be portrayed properly, therefore structuring in 4 parts it's the better option. Starting off with episode 1, I will not change anything besides the element that Ash should already continue the journey with Greninja. Exactly. Instead of having Greninja involved in the Ninja Village and achieving Battle Bond after 45 seconds, he will get Greninja after defeating Olympia, therefore gaining the Dark type, gaining the immunity of the type that he defeated, so he will start XY&Z already with Greninja. Episode 1 will stay the same, everyone will meet Sawyer and save Squishy from Team Flare. Sawyer will show the gym badge that he has, he'll show Grovyle, and the Squishy will bond with Bonnie. Everyone will make sure that Bonnie and Squishy are safe. Clemont will appreciate nature more instead of just the realm of science, and Ash will help out Bonnie to take care of a Pokemon with legendary powers because he has some expertise with that. Not to mention that it would give more Ash and Bonnie moments, the comedy duo of the X and Y group. Episode 2, it will still have Quilladin, but with a twist. Clemont would start to begin an argument with his Chespin because of his gluttony aspect, and Chespin would rebel by seeing how deeply bonded Jessie and her Gourgeist interact because it's also a grass type, and in the end of the episode, Chespin, because of the gluttonous behavior, he would evolve because he's eating too much, getting fatter and fatter and fatter. He would become a Quilladin and therefore breaking tons of Clemont's machinery, and he would start a rebellion arc because, in all honesty, Clemont peaked in the middle of the show. So in my opinion, he should have like a proper character arc with Chespin, Quilladin and later on Chesnaught, just like how Dawn had with Swine, Peloswine and Mamoswine respectively. It's kinda recycling the plot with the gluttonous Pokemon, the baby becoming like this behemoth, but for Clemont and Chesnaught eventually it will work well. Now, with episode 3, everyone would meet that shiny Phantom from the Futures episode, but they will meet the Mao in the woods, and Quilladin, because of the behavior and rebellious, it will make Phantom go away from the gang, and Phantom would eventually find out Team Rocket, and because he's trading groups, quote unquote, it would give James a shiny Trevenant. If Jessie has a Gourgeist, it makes sense that James should have had a Trevenant, because if James has an Inkay, and therefore Jessie has the Wobbuffet. For the 4th episode, it will be a display battle between Lysia and Seabold. Yes, Lysia, the niece of Wallace. She will try to battle another water expert, and she should be the one to showcase the Mega Audino instead of that random Nurse Joy. Of course that she would lose to Seabold's Mega Blastoise, but it's a way to showcase the Elite Four members and also promote auras within the canon of the show of XY&Z. Of course, later on Greninja would battle Seabold as a demonstration battle as well, and after that Lysia would become the new rivals for Serena. She did contests and she wants to try performance and showcases now, here in Kalos. As for the 5th episode, Ash and everyone would meet up with Trevor and his newly evolved Charmeleon into a Charizard, and Talonflame would battle Trevor's Charizard. Lysander will be watching the fight in the sidelines, and then that's how they will meet Lysander. He will talk about the backstory, and Litleo, instead of being in a pride, will be a backstory about Lysander Spyroar as he was a Litleo. So this is how the gang will meet Lysander, because you will see the potential of Greninja, the Charizard of Trevor will remember him of Alain, and it's a good way for the characters and the protagonists to meet Lysander, but not as he's the villain now. They just meet him as an entrepreneur, like they met Cyrus in Diamond and Pearl. As for the 6th episode, everyone will meet a group of Floette led by a Floette that has a black flower. Clemont, being the brain of the group, he will recall that this Floette potentially could be the one from the ancient king of Kalos, AZ, which it is. So instead of that Breloom filler, no, we will have the AZ's Floette without AZ actually being in the show. So it's a good way to cheat AZ into the story without actually cheating the way of the ultimate weapon. In this episode, Noibat, instead of learning acrobatics, he would learn Hurricane as he sees Floette flying into the horizon, and this will be a great plot point for Noibat, because if you think about it, Noibat it's a special attacker, so it makes more sense that he gets Hurricane instead of acrobatics. Now, leading to episode 7, because it will be the episode where Iris returns, okay? Iris will return in Kalos, and here's why. When she saw Rayquaza in Blackthorn, I will headcanon the fact that she went to the west of Johto, she saw the embedded tower with the Draconids, she then went to Hoenn for the Meteor Falls, and she trained the Meteor Falls, and she will join the group with the task of overseeing the Terminus Cave after everything that is happening with the Zygarde course, because Xenia will be the one to tell Iris to oversee the Terminus Cave, and she will temporarily join the group on Xenia's behalf. Because I want to incorporate Xenia in the story. If I did it with Lysia, it would be unfair to not have Xenia here. The Iris involvement in this episode, it would be amazing. She would help out Clemont with Quilladin because she already had 3 disobedient Pokemon. She would help Bonnie with Squishy because of the dragon elements, and she would also listen about the Ash's Gudra, and she would teach Dragon Pulse to Ash's Noibat, therefore the special attacker. For episode 8, Iris continues to be within the group, as the group will meet later on Professor Sycamore and as well Sanpei, the ninja from the Ninja Village. And Sanpei will take the group, Iris and Professor Sycamore to the Ninja Village for everyone to do some training. There will be no ninja invasion, there will be no Naruto plot here, so everyone will just go to the village, they will train, and they will listen to the tale of Bond Phenomenon, and because of the Greninja from the past. So I think it will make the things more organic in some capacity. As for the 9th episode, this is the episode where Iris will basically overcome her fear of fairy types by interacting with the Dynamore. I want for Serena and Clemont to have a battle between their Braixen and Quilladin, you know, like the middle evolutions they train, while Ash is basically training on his own with Greninja. And Ash and Greninja, they will activate Battle Bond on the first time. It will be in the Ninja Village, everyone will be in shock, but it will be by Ash battling Sycamore's Mega Garchomp, because they are on their way to Korriway Town, and in the games you battle Professor Sycamore and his Kanto starters, so it's a good way for link battle from the games into the anime. Now, continuing on with episode 10, this is the episode of the Korriway Town showcase where Serena participates. Iris and Sycamore, they will see this battle, they will be in awe by the battle, but Serena will eventually lose this battle like in the original one, but not by the misperformance of her Eevee, but yes, because Lysia will be in the showcase and she will use Mega Altaria, and because of the wow factor, and Iris will be, what the hell is this? It's a dragon and a fairy Pokemon, and Lysia will later on get qualified for the masterclass of the Pokemon showcases. For the 11th episode, Sycamore will then leave the group as everyone will go to the Terminus Cave, the plot will continue to happen, Bonnie will protect Squishy from the Tear Flare admins, and the 4 admins of Team Flare, they will battle Ash, Iris, Serena and Clemont, and Iris's Axew will evolve into a Fracture by being in the Terminus Cave by protecting Ash's Pikachu, and of course because of Ash Greninja being activated in Terminus Cave, the Team Flare admins will inform Lysander of such matter because he wants Mega Evolution energy, but because Ash Greninja is not a Mega Evolved Pokemon, it will intrigue Lysander even more. And that it's a good segue for episode 12, where everyone tries to figure out where Squishy went through after that incident. Zero Sick and his Malamar are going to be ready to proceed with our plans, because I want for the Maluminati, you know, the Malamar from the episodes 19 and 54, for their ultimate weapon to not be the ultimate weapon that we all think it will be, but I want for Zero Sick and the Malamar from X and Y to still be incorporated into the X, Y, and Z. And after everyone finds Squishy because of Iris's Dragon Heart powers, Squishy will return to Bonnie, Clemont will help Bonnie and understand nature more, Ash will help out Bonnie, Serena will help out Bonnie, so it's a good moment for Bonnie to reunite with Squishy once again, and for Iris to departure from the group, going on her own journey for the time being. Therefore, this is how I end the first segment of X, Y, and Z. Now let's move on to segment 2. Segment 2 of the X, Y, and Z season, it will start with episode 13, as Lysander, after being informed by his admins, he will be the one to tell Alain to battle Ash to analyze his Greninja. So instead of Alain basically conveniently crossing paths with Ash, he will be tasked to analyze Greninja, and after Alain is being distracted, Zero Sick will hypnotize Marin. Exactly, the ultimate weapon, instead of being the one from the games, the one that the Malamar will try to create with Zero Sick, it's trying to do the Insentious suit for Marin, because we don't have Emma in the anime. So Marin will be hypnotized and be wearing in the suit like how Emma does in the manga, and she'll be the one to battle 50% Zygarde and retrieve Z2 from Team Rocket. So we will still have the Rocket versus Flare, but instead of Alain helping out, Alain will be distracted by battling Ash with Mega Charizard X, and Marin, hypnotized, it will be the one to, you know, actually retrieve Z2 for the Team Flare. Episode 14, it will be the performance ball, where Miette and Shauna, they will return. It will continue to be the dance. Ash will continue to tag along with Serena with the dance and also for the tag battle. They will battle Jesse and James, and they will know that they will battle Jesse and James, but because they are in the performers ball, they need to keep it classy. I want for Shauna to reveal that she already has a Venusaur, mind you, and after the end of that performers ball, that's where Serena gets her Sylveon. So there is no big changes, just some add-ups, you know? For episode 15 of the rewrite, everyone will encounter Zapdos, Pikachu will battle Zapdos, you know, for the legendary count of the electric types. Noibat will evolve to save Olucha like in the original, learning Boom Burst like in the original, but by recalling AZ's Floette, he will also learn Moonlight. So being a speedy special attacker, being basically a stalling glass cannon, Noivern will have Moonlight, Boom Burst, Dragon Pulse and Hurricane, a better moveset than what he had in the original. For episode 16, after being influenced by Ash to do the gym challenge, Alain basically is soaring around Kalos with Charizard, and he will return already with 4 badges, and he will introduce the gang to Zinnia, because he already would know Zinnia from the Mega Evolution Special 2 and 3 because of the Mega Rayquaza. It's basically like a retroactively writing X and Y, but it's the special, so I actually don't count as much, but I want for Zinnia to be in the show just like how Lizzie is because of the Draconids and Rayquaza and Zygarde, you know, like the Dragon of the Sky, the Dragon of the Land, you know, the green dragons, you know, and Alain and Zinnia, they would tag team against Ash and Serena, and I really would love the idea, for example, for Alain to reveal Tyranitar and Zinnia reveal her Tyrantrum, and they would win against Ash and Serena, and Bonnie would have a cute interaction with Aster, you know, Zinnia's Whismur. For episode 17, Sawyer's Grovyle is already revealed to be a Sceptile, and Zinnia's Salamence will have some intrigue about his Shelgon, which later on will become a Salamence, mind you. And basically episode 17, it's for the gang to learn about more of Sawyer's backstory, why isn't he in Hoenn in the first try, and basically, you know, get to know a little more of Sawyer, you know, because the X, Y and Z fillers, they were basically, you know, this sponge of time. It didn't work well for Sawyer's development. Like, he was introduced in the middle of the show, but he needs a little bit more. Like, I don't know exactly why he moved from Hoenn to Kalos on the first league try, but at least try to explain something. And basically, because seeing Grovyle becoming a Sceptile, Clement's Quilladin, he would get, jealous and he wants to battle to prove a point. Alain would use Swampert, because I think that Alain should have a team that just focuses on Mega. So just give Alain a Swampert and Quilladin would evolve into a Chesnaught, become more disobedient. Of course that Swampert would win like with an Ice Punch or another Ice move, but it gives more credit to, Clement, and he's now Chesnaught. For episode 18, Serena would still participate in the Frey City Showcase, and after defeating Nini and also Amelia, Serena would get her final Princess Key, the third Princess Key, and of course she qualifies for the Master Class. But here's the thing, I want for Serena to have, this moment of clarity. When she sees the 3 keys, she remembers of Ash, Clement and Bonnie, and I want for her keys to have a team behind them, like she got 2 keys in X and Y, so therefore the keys should resemble the X and Y letters, the X being the windmill from Dandemill, and the Y being, the symbol of destruction foreshadowing the events of the Anastar Sundial, and the Z being of course for X, Y and Z and being her last key, therefore the last letter. Episode 19, the gang would meet Tierno and his Raichu would end up battling Clement's Luxray. Because I don't want just for, everyone to battle Ash. I don't want for X and Y Z to just be Ash focus. Everyone deserves some focus, and I already showcased Trevor, so showing Tierno now will make more sense. After the loss, yes, Raichu would defeat Luxray to show how powerful Tierno is doing. Chesnaught would decide to step in and battle Tierno's Ludicolo, like a grass battle between the two. And this would be the pivotal battle where Clement and Chesnaught, they would overcome their differences aside for the good, and after defeating the dancers, they would find their own rhythm again, and therefore Clement and Chesnaught are now all for good. Episode 20 would start with Sawyer's Doublade losing to Wikstorm's Aegislash in the battle, and even though he loses, I want for Wikstorm to give the Dusk Stone for Sawyer, like when the time comes, you have this, you are good kid, and I want to, have the Elite Four members show up. So here's the thing, the battle would start with Sawyer, but then before Ash challenges Wikstorm, actually Alain shows up and Alain challenges Wikstorm for a 2v2, and that will be an amazing battle to show Ash that Alain is here for no joke, because prior to this he already defeated 10 Mega Evolutions just with Charizard, including Malva's Mega Houndoom in the 4th special. So this episode it would start with Metagross, Alain's Metagross, he would tie with Wikstorm's Aegislash, like a battle of forging steel, and then Mega Charizard it would defeat Mega Scizor of Wikstorm. So that's the premise for episode 20. For episode 21, the one after, that's where the group would reunite with Xenia, who is also battling and mastering her technique of dragon types with Elite Four Dresna. So you basically have 2 Elite Fours for the price of 1, in just a span of 2 episodes. Dresna would battle Ash. They would try to, battle Noivern. Noivern would lose to Dresna's Noivern, but he would also, train with Xenia's and most likely Alexa's, because Alexa needs to be here because she's seeing all of these powerful trainers battling Elite Four members before the Pokemon League. So it gives more credit to Alexa, it showcases Xenia and Dresna, and it gives credit to Ash's Noivern, even though it would not be as much big of a deal because we basically have 4 Noiverns in one episode. But hey, Noivern deserves some love, man, come on. And now, finishing segment 2 of XY&Z, we start with episode 22, starting the Masterclass. In my rewrite, the Masterclass, it would not be just 1.5 episodes, it would be the double, it would be 3 episodes, X, Y, and Z, 3 episodes for the 3 characters, for the 3 Princess Keys. So, episode 22 starts off with Serena arriving to Glory City to participate in a Masterclass, and after seeing the reflections of the companions in the Princess Keys, she would try to, basically show her inspiration through the first try of the preliminaries. The preliminaries would be like something, very cosplaying or, a beauty pageant or whatever, and everyone tries to be more feminine, even Nini with her maid outfit, but Serena would defeat Nini. This of course after Grace showing up, she would defeat Nini and everyone in the preliminaries from the cosplay aspect by doing the cosplay of Ash. So it basically shows her inspiration, like it shows, you know, some dominance, and it will be something very different, but everyone would love the idea, Ash included. So yeah, we don't have the Rockstar Pikachu episode, but Serena cosplaying Ash is what makes her defeat Nini in the preliminaries and therefore advance in the masterclass of the Kalos Showcase. In episode 23, Serena would outperform Miette and Jessie in the quarterfinals. There will be, you know, a little moment between Grace and Palermo talking about Serena during the rest day of the masterclass, maybe talking about her future or her unlimited potential to become the next Kalos Queen after Aria. Serena would overhear this, but after talking to Ash, you know, giving and receiving advices and words, you know, the whole thing about being the Kalos Queen. And in the third act of the episode, Serena would win against Shauna and Lysia in the semifinals. So Serena would continue to go to the finals of the masterclass, and that's where it leads for episode 24, where Serena, after a deep talk with Ash, she would be ready to face Aria. And in my rewrite, Serena does become the Kalos Queen by defeating Aria, but here's the thing, she wins only by 3 votes. And those 3 votes are of course the votes of Ash, Clemont and Bonnie. Her friends helped her along the way, reaching her dream. They helped her get her goal. Of course that in the end, her mother will be very proud of her. Palermo would offer Serena to tutor, but she refuses for the time being because she wants to know more besides, you know, what's next after being the Kalos Queen. And, you know, the whole premise of giving and receiving, and this will help Ash for the segment 3, where she wants to give Ash advice, you know, to overpass Sawyer, Alain, the Wolfric, and whatever more comes in their way. So let's go to segment 3. So starting off segment 3 of XY&Z in episode 25, Ash started to feel a little pressure about, you know, because of all the sidetracking with Iris and the ninjas and Clemont and Serena. He will start to feel a little pressured because of his rivals are getting more badges than him. They already have the 8 badges and Ash hasn't. That will be a little pressure for his side, but after seeing Diantha, Ash will want, you know, the synchronization, you know, the necklace, you know, the synchro necklace that Clemont built for him. They will continue on to battle Diantha, but after doing the Water Veil, they will not master Ash Greninja yet, and the Water Veil will not dissipate. Instead, the battle would remain with an inconclusive result because Ash will faint during the match, but they are almost breaking the Water Veil, but not yet, unlike the original. Continuing on with episode 26, this is the episode where Ash wants to battle Clemont to learn more about Greninja's synchronization, which he does, but then he will also battle Sawyer, demolishing Sawyer, and he will battle Alain once again, but Alain will have, you know, a very great win, because when it comes to Sawyer, Ash is confident and therefore the transformation works, but when it's with Alain, he becomes hesitant because he knows all of Alain's street cred, and therefore the mental fortitude of Ash is not at complete sync with Greninja. He's hesitant, therefore the synchronization doesn't work, and that's where Clemont, Serena and Bonnie realize this and they want to help Ash out. And as for a little bit of fan service, a little snippet of the end of the episode, have Sawyer and Alain battle with their Mega Lizards, and therefore Alain would get her Mega Energy from Mega Sceptile, as he already got, you know, as well from Mega Scizor of Wikstorm, and by seeing Xenia battle with her Mega Salamence, you know. So it builds up for Lysander's plan to start sooner. Shh. Continuing on with episode 27, Ash would continue to challenge Wolfric and Snowbell for the Snowbell badge, you know. Alain would continue to do his thing, you know, he would go to Lysander Labs before the league. Sawyer would see Ash's battle like in the original, but unlike the original, I don't want, you know, to just have Bergmite. No. Have Pikachu battle a Cryogonal, Hawlucha would battle Avalog, but then a Boma Snow destroys everyone, including, you know, Ash Greninja's Water Veil, and Ash would be very pissed off because because that's the thing. With Sawyer, he can win because he's confident. With Alain, he cannot win because he's hesitant. So Serena would be the one to realize this from Clemont's machine. She will be the one to give Ash's advice, and Ash, by receiving and then failing, he would be pissed at Serena, and that would lead to episode 28, because Ash will go to the woods and he and Serena would continue to have the argument and the snowball fight, and Serena is very pissed at him because I wanted to help. You are basically doing this. I don't know why. You're not the Ash that I know, because her image of Ash got shattered, even though when she tried to do her best and he didn't reciprocate. He basically said everything you do is not a waste of time, and when he is basically receiving everything that everyone is doing for him, he's being a hypocrite. Ash was being a hypocrite, and that's the whole thing that I want to emphasize here. Like, Ash is in the wrong. And he goes to the woods very depressed, etc, etc. Squishy will go 10% to scout for Ash and Serena. Serena will reunite with everyone, but they don't know where Ash is. Greninja will find out Ash, and they will master Battle Bond. They will break the Water Veil by not saving a Spupa, but yes, by battling Articuno. Because Articuno is a roaming bird in the XY games, and he got robbed. The bird got robbed in the XY&Z segment. Ash and Greninja master Battle Bond by battling a legendary, you know? They don't have to defeat it, but just have to battle that goddamn Articuno. And that finishes off episode 28, leading to the episode 29. Ash will rematch Wulfric for the Snowbell badge, but this time, instead of using the Pokemon from the same order, he will use his own version of the legendary beasts, you know, the three Bromigos, Pikachu, Talonflame, and Greninja, Raikou, Entei, and Suicune to some capacity. So Talonflame would be the one to battle Cryogonal from the aerial battle, and Pikachu being the unstoppable force against Evolok's immovable object, you know, the sword against the shield, and they would get the win. And the Pikachu basically, you know, using Electro Ball to basically pulverize the hail, and having stalactites from the ceiling fall into Avalok and basically Iron Tailing them away, you know. Again, Ash would remember Serena's words of advice from the first battle, and he would basically reciprocate by recycling the same context but within another battle, because he remembers the first gym battle, you know, against Viola with Surskit and Ice Beam, and he's on an ice battlefield once again. It just feels very organic. And Mega Bomb of Snow against Ash Greninja, I will not change anything. Ash wins, gets the 8 badges, he's ready for the league. Moving on to episode 30. Episode 30, it will be very different, because we will continue to go to the wetlands, because Ash actually wants to go to the wetlands to get Goodra back, you know, actually will re-get Goodra. But when they go to the wetlands, they will see the guy from the wetlands, and he's interacting, you know, with Mayer, Clement's father, because Clement talked to his father knowing that he would go to the wetlands for Clement's father, you know, to get some of the gym Pokemon for Clement, because Clement wants to test out Ash before the league. In the games, Clement is the 5th gym leader, and they replicated that in the show. However, thematically, he should have been the last one, you know, like Ash's final match. It would have been more cathartic in some capacity. But since I cannot rewrite X and Y, I want, you know, to basically have the battle between Ash and Clement, you know, a 6v6 like they should have had to begin with. So this will be like, you know, the final hurrah, you know, like the battle to see if Ash is actually ready for the league after everything and every struggle that he had in the XY&Z series so far. So the episode 30 will be Pikachu and Talonflame battling against Bunnelby, and of course the gym's Magneton, that it's now a Magnezone. Episode 31, it will be Hawlucha and Noivern battling Heliolisk and Luxray. And the battle will continue on, you know, basically, you know, just electric types. It said Bunnelby, but Bunnelby, you know, in the previous episode he had Wild Charge, like in the gym battle actually. Ash's Goodra battles Ampharos. Ampharos has, you know, a dragon type when they Mega Evolve, and Clement will want to Mega Evolve, but he will not feel the need to, because let's face it, if Clement was to have a Mega, it will be Manectric, like how Serena would have had Absol, but they didn't give them Megas to not discredit Ash. So to not discredit Ash even more, Clement will have the power to Mega Evolve Ampharos because of the Chronic Bloodline, but he will refuse not to, and Goodra and Ampharos, they will have a tie. Therefore, 5 Pokemon are down for each party, and the battle will end with an epic conclusion of Greninja against Clemont's Chesnaught at full power, you know. Basically, Battle Bond, Bulletproof, it will be, you know, again, the Unstoppable Force being Greninja against the Immovable Object being, you know, Chesnaught. And the Water Shuriken being a shield, he basically reflects Chesnaught into Greninja, and Chesnaught being like, you know, a bulking, walking behemoth, it will reflect the attack. Like, you know, because Ash and Clemont will basically influence each other, you know. The speedy attacker becomes bulky with the defense shield, and the bulky, you know, defense Pokemon will get, you know, attacked by Ash. They influence each other, you know. It's just so amazing to think about this, oh my god. But yeah, the battle continues, and Greninja would, of course, defeat Chesnaught, and Ash, by knowing this, he would be ready for the Kalos League, okay? Okay. Continuing on with episode 32, this is where the Kalos League conference begins in Lumio City, and the episode with continuing on, they see Alain and Trevor in the top 64 battle with the Mega Charizard duel, but here's the thing that I will change about the Kalos League. The Kalos League will have a different battle format. Top 64 and 32, it will be 2v2s in doubles format. Top 16 and 8 will be in singles format, a 3v3, and top 4 and finals it will be in singles format, a 6v6. So they will have the Mega Charizards, you know, Alain and Trevor, they will have the Mega Charizards, but they will be teamed up with other Pokemon. So they have this, and then Pikachu and Talonflame, they are the ones to battle Everett's Furfrou and whatever Pokemon he also has on the table, and this will only be in the episode's outro. And then episode 33, the intro episode 33, is basically Ash, Pikachu, and Talonflame already defeating, you know, Titus, Altaria, and whatever Pokemon he brings to the table as well. And it continuing on with the top 32 being Sawyer against Tierno, and after the 2v2s, that's where Grace shows up to see the next round, sitting with Mayer, you know, so basically everything continues on the same as Serena's mother basically goes to see Ash's battle in the actual, you know, stadium conference. So yeah, basically Trevor and Tierno, they are out for the count. Sawyer and Alain, they continuing on, and this is where Ash starts to battle, you know, the rivals of Alain, because episode 34, the 3v3 round, he begins with Ash battling Astrid, and since Pikachu and Talonflame already at focus, now it's the time for the others to have focus, you know. Noivern will battle Pyroar, Goodra will battle Meowstic, and the top 16 it would end with Hawlucha defeating Mega Absol, and this would all be on screen for one episode. Segueing into episode 35, again another 3v3, this is where Ash would battle the other rival of Alain and Sawyer, that being Xenia. Ash will battle Xenia with Hawlucha tying with her Tyrantrum. Ash's Goodra would battle her Goodra, and it would end in a tie as well, basically emulating a little bit of the normal battles where they basically have two ties in a row. However, the highlight of the episode, it will be Ash's Noivern defeating Xenia's Mega Salamence, basically giving the win of Ash in the top 8. And episode 36, we basically have, you know, Ash, Sawyer, Alain, and Remus. Again, they all go to the top 4 where the 6v6 begins. It's the league's rest day, everyone just having a good time. Marin encounters Chesnaught, basically thinking about of a big Chespy, and everyone learns about Marin. They focus more about the battle bond because Ash will talk to Lysander, Alain will talk to Sycamore, and before the battle, basically the episode ends with Alain defeating Remus, already gathering enough Mega Evolution energy for Lysander, and the episode ends with that, and also for Marin basically going MIA because Zero Six activates the Incentia suit, you know? So she goes MIA after Alain got the energy, and that's where the segment 4 of X, Y, and Z will begin, with episode 37 being the semi-finals between Ash and Sawyer. So yeah, segment 4, the final segment of the X, Y, and Z season, episode 37, you know. Ash will battle Sawyer in a 6v6, they begin with Hawlucha against Slacking, but this time Hawlucha wins because of basically, you know, Serena, the suit that Serena gives it, basically it's like a health item for Hawlucha in some capacity, you know, but yeah. Hawlucha resists the counter, but he wins against slacking, so moving on. Talonflame will battle Clawitzer in a steamy mid-air match, water and fire basically just clashing in the middle of the air. And Pikachu would battle Aegislash in a clash of steel speed and light, basically cutting off all of the forest for everyone to have a better visibility of the battlefield. And this is where we get to episode 38, where Noivern would battle Sawyer Slurpuff. Again, I want to have, the dichotomies, the fire and water with Talonflame and Clawitzer, the speed and light with Pikachu and Aegislash, basically reflecting the steels of one another. Noivern and Slurpuff, it will be a display of sound and might, because Noivern basically, they can reflect the sound, and the fairies are very bulky, so he would have to work around besides, the iconic Dragon Pulse. And basically, because I already have Noivern defeat Mega Salamence, I don't want for Noivern to tie with Sawyer Salamence. That will basically be, the Goodra part of the show, because they are both pseudo-legendaries, they are both dragon types, so basically the clash will end there, and the episode basically is just postponing, like the Alain battle. Like the Sawyer battle happens in the real time of the Alain battle, so Ash Greninja would again defeat Mega Sceptile, and Ash would win the top 4, and therefore going to battle Alain. But then, something happens. And this is where the Team Flare arc finale begins. Before the finals, because the interference of Zinnia, Wikstorm, Lysia, whoever more from Aurus, they already gathered enough energy for Lysander and Alain to proceed with the plans before they actually start in the original. So episode 39 until episode 43, again, they will basically remain the same like in the original, but not as always. There will be a few add-ups and a few changes. Like episode 39, Team Flare will interfere the Prism Tower, interrupting the finals. Alain basically is mad from having a rob match against Ash, and because his Charizard is on steroids, so he's basically have this identity crisis where if he would have won, it would have not been fair. And Ash is basically, trying to stop Zero Sick, because Ash is kidnapped by Zero Sick, and because of all the Malamar utilizing Marin via hypnosis, so it will be very dangerous, But continuing on with episode 40, Iris will have the eventual return, because Zinnia calls Iris like, yo girl, something got wrong, we need your help ASAP, okay? And Iris, it will be the one to help Serena to save Marin from the hypnosis, like you go, girl protect, saving Marin, okay? And then Lysia, Zinnia, Shauna, and Miette, the female empowerment, they will be the ones to battle the female admins, Aliana, Brioni, Celosia, and Mabel, Like 4 girls against 4 girls, let's go. Sawyer would team up with Ash and Alain to battle Lysander, but then Lysander escapes in the top of the Prism Tower, because I don't want to sideline Sawyer with the main rivals of the game. Sawyer, it will basically have a bigger role because Steven Stone will also show up, so it gives more street credit to Sawyer as well. Episode 41, oh my god, this is amazing. Episode 41, Clemont will continue on to take down Zero Sick, and Bonnie will try to save Zygarde from Lysander. Therefore, Clemont uses science and Bonnie uses nature, basically might and heart. They will save the both dragons. And Mayor, it will protect Bonnie. Everyone will try to infiltrate from the Zygarde labs. Squishy is saved. The Megalith Zygarde is formed as Chespin as the central core, and basically seeing Chespin basically getting absorbed, it's what will break Marin from the hypnosis of the Incentia suit. Maybe while Mayor as Blaziken Mask, he will see, try to protect Bonnie, maybe 2 civilians, they will see the heroisms of Mayor, and they will, want in the future to help out Mayor with the vigilantism of Lumiose, and therefore, because Mayor knows Sycamore, these 2 random civilians, they will want to, be assistants of Sycamore. So it's a good way to implement for the future the characters of Sina and Dexio. It's a good foreshadowing in implementation, if I do say so myself. Continuing on again with the 4th episode of Team Flare arc, episode 42. We already see Clemont sacrificing himself. Tierno and Trevor are helping the civilians. Alexa basically teams up with Team Rocket to broadcast to all over Kalos the news of what's going to happen as the Megalith Zygarde basically charges in for the Anistar Sundial. And Diantha will show up with the gym leaders and the Elite Four, and it will be amazing, you know, like everyone is here. It's Super Smash, it's basically Super Smash Ultimate, you know, it's the Infinity War before it actually happened, you know. And this ends episode 42, and has basically, we get to the final episode where Sawyer is basically, you know, having, helping out Ash and Alain as they enter the Megalith Save Chespi. Basically everyone helps out. Sycamore helps out as well. We got basically Sycamore teams up with Gherkin and their Megas. Steven Stone helps out Diantha, so two champions with their psychic types helping each other, and it's basically, you know, this amalgamation of humans and Pokemon helping each other, and this is the thing that it will be the greatest change, you know, because Ash and Alain, they hadn't battled yet. And because after this Alain will have to abdicate the Mega Stone and the Mega Ring, therefore Ash having Ash Greninja, it will be a disadvantage. And I don't want for Ash to get a win, I want for this narrative, this what if, to basically end the exact same way as the normal series end. So I will basically bend the rules of Olympia's prophecy, because Olympia prophesies that the power of Ash Greninja will be the one to save the world. But here's the thing, the power itself is the thing that saves the world. It doesn't mean that the power has to be used, it could be abdicated. So what I want for it to do is that, like the giant water shuriken, you know, the orange one, it shields everyone from the white beam of Megalith Zygarde, and as the waters basically heal the Zygarde cores, because they are tired from battling each other before, they will heal the Zygarde cores, and basically Greninja's power, abdicating the power of Battle Bond, it's what will help the Zygarde cores to become one, to fuse, and basically Greninja will want to sacrifice himself, but he will have to abdicate Battle Bond for Ash to not die, but because of the power of fusion and synchronization, that will be the thing that will trigger Perfect Zygarde, and Lysander gets core enforced, and the world is saved, and the squishies are, you know, they are gone. But yes, Greninja abdicates Battle Bond to save the world, and that's how the Team Flare arc, you know, Ash had a task. He trained Greninja for that set power scale, and Greninja uses that stack up power to save the world. It's just simply amazing, dudes. So yeah, this is how I would end the Team Flare arc, with a few changes in the middle. Continuing on, episode 44. Clemont will not be revived. It would ruin the character of Clemont. So what I want to happen is that Ash will battle Alain in the unofficial league finals, like how the player battles AZ in the end of the X and Y games. Pikachu would continuing on to defeat the pseudos of Alain, Tyranitar and Metagross. Talonflame would have an aerial battle, but not against a Pheasant. It would be a Pidgeot. It would be a Pidgeot, again, because I want for Alain to have Megas, you know. And his Swampert and Beedrill, they will be the ones to later on show up, you know, to battle Hawlucha, Noivern, and yeah, like, you know, and also Goodra, because I think that the team of Alain should be Charizard, Metagross, Tyranitar, Swampert, Beedrill, and Pidgeot. Like with Charizard and Swampert, he has the 4 elements, he has 2 pseudos, and he has Beedrill and Pidgeot as Aura's Megas and also Kanto callbacks, you know. And all of the types, they are always interchanging, you know. They are not never the same. So, with this episode 45, it will end with Charizard and Greninja having a tie. And here's the thing, they don't have Mega Evolution, and they don't have Battle Bond. However, because of the overexposure to that power prior to their battle, basically it's like how Super Saiyans in Dragon Ball, they can transform, but after transforming so many times, the base form will be with time, you know, basically be as powerful as the transformation form was before they actually got that power. So it's basically like a pseudo version of Battle Bond and Mega Evolution. Like it's basically like, you know, this veil of energy, you know, like the final remnants. And that's how I want for the battle to end. Episode 45, it ends with Alain and Ash having a tie. The league trophies, it will be the Honor of Kalos, and they would be the co-winners of the Kalos League Conference, and therefore the region's uncrowned champions. And after everything is said and done, everyone in episode 46, they will say their goodbyes, you know. Everyone, they will go their own way, again, like in the end of the series, and to our own way. And here's the thing, in episode 46, what I want to do is that Serena, they will go to the date with Ash after a talk to Grace, and she wants to learn more about being a Kalos Queen, and she will have, like, you know, something with Palermo, like she has something to do again, you know, in Kalos, inspiring people after that performance and whatnot. And I want for Serena to battle Ash in the place where Ash battled Clemont, you know, like that little park in Lumiose. And Serena will use Breaks, and against Pikachu, maybe the energy of the earth, you know, the Gaia power of Zygarde, you know, the aura and whatever, basically gives, like, you know, Breaks and the Psy Firecracker burst move from Pokémon, and Pikachu will use Volt Shock Fist or something, you know, just a game plug within their battle. And you know how in Advanced Generation, May had a Combuscan and evolved into a Blaziken to show her independence from Ash. I want for Serena's Breakson to basically shine to become a Delphox, but she will refuse the evolution because, like Serena, Breakson wants to become their own independent person, and that's how basically the battle would end. You know, they would go on a date, etc, etc, like nothing romantic, but just like, you know, seeing how the town is being rebuilt after 1 month, you know, after the vines get dissipated. And episode 46, it will basically end with Greninja wanting to stay in Kalos to protect his home region. He traveled with Ash, he did his job, Ash helped Greninja to become the hero that he was meant to be, even without the power of Battle Bond, and Ash wanting to basically know his Pokemon's desires and needs, instead of, you know, just like, oh, the Vines return and the Zygarde returns. No, Greninja will want to stay in Kalos out of his own volition. And maybe when he sacrifices, you know, the power to basically perfectize Zygarde in some capacity, maybe because of telepathy, Ash and the Zygardes, they will listen to Greninja's voice in the Team Flare arc finale or something around those lines. Because if you have side sharing, you might as well have telepathy, like, you know, basically go on full shonen, you know. And yeah, that's the end of episode 46. Episode 47, Gudra returns to the wetlands, and the birds will stay with Sycamore, okay? You know, like Holucha with the whole Mask and Vigilante, maybe he will help Mayor and later on Cena and Dexio. Not like, you know, Talonflame, he will stay, you know, as well to help Blaziken. Noivern helping Alexa with the journalism or whatever, you know. The birds stay with Sycamore in my rewrite. And after the whole thing about the DNA in the airport, and basically Ash has to capture to catch the plane. But Serena will also have to go with Palermo to help the people of Kalos, you know, being the queen that gives and to later on receive. The kiss scene, it will still happen, but sadly it will still have to happen off screen. However, I will basically, you know, add something to that. Before the kiss off screen, Ash and Serena, they will have a hug, a very warmed up hug, mind you, and Kiseki will start to play in the background. You know, the music that you are listening to now, it's like the final music of X and Y. Kiseki will play in the background, they will hug, they will remember the time that they share, they get more when they give, when they receive, etc, etc. And she goes to the escalator, climbs the escalator, kiss off screen, and Ash basically understanding her feelings for him, he will basically go to his pocket, look at the handkerchief, toss the handkerchief down the escalator, and saying to Serena, I'll make sure to get that from you one day, you know? And that's how X, Y, and Z should have ended. For the special episode with Alexa and then Silent, the only add-ups that I want to do is that Zinnia is there, they will meet AZ, they will hear the tale of the ultimate weapon and the Kalos War that we sadly couldn't see in the series because it would have been too dark. Silent going to Kalos, it will be for him to finally become an S-rank connoisseur. He will still meet Clemont and Bonnie. Burgundy will be there as well. Bonnie and Burgundy will do the Sivu play stuff, and Bonnie will do the keep gag for Burgundy and Silent for all the familiar shippings down there. And after a connoisseur evaluation, Silent and Burgundy, they will go to their own adventure to Kalos. Serena would go to her adventure. Clemont and Bonnie, they will stay the same. And Ash will return to Palette, and everyone will continue on their journey into our own way. So yeah, folks, this is how I would have rewritten Pokemon X, Y, and Z, the final season of the Kalos saga. Make sure to comment down below all of your ideas that you have for the rewriting of this series, what you like, what you didn't dislike. Your feedback is very important to me. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Ring down the notification bell down below. So, without further ado, trainers, X, Y, and Z you later, and to our own way.